All right, how's everybody doing today? Let the record show that we call this comprehensive plan workshop, joint workshop together at exactly 1 p.m. on March the 7th. We'll start from the top of the agenda. As soon as I get picked up, there we go. I'm gonna do my best, but I don't think that's gonna happen. We'll start at the top of the agenda. We'll start, Mr. Administrator. Artie.
Hey, good afternoon, Chairman, Mayor, Commissioners. Today is a joint workshop, and this workshop has two items. The first one is the 2023 cycle comprehensive plan amendments. This is an opportunity for you to review the comp plan amendments that are proposed for this year's cycle, ask questions that you may have, or request any additional information that we would bring back to you for the public hearing. The second part of the workshop is a report on infill development and redevelopment in our community. At this point, I'll hand it over to Mindy Moorman, who is our Administrator of Comprehensive Planning, to review the comprehensive plan amendments for this cycle, but then she'll kick it back to me for the infill part of it, and after a short presentation on infill, there'll be an opportunity for questions and discussion and anything you may need.
Thank you, Commissioners and Mr. Mayor. Look, today we're not looking for any kind of motions to approve anything. We'll just accept the reports and we'll move on from there. So this is our first workshop, so it's very informational. So I'm not looking for any approvals or anything like that. So I'm not expecting a whole bunch there. But if there are questions, we'll recognize for questions and we'll move on. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'm Mindy Moorman. I'm the Administrator of Comprehensive Planning, and I'm going to go through the 2023 Comprehensive Plan Amendment Cycle. So before I do that, just a quick overview of where we are in the development process. We have a comprehensive plan. It's a legal document that provides policies for guiding future growth and development in Tallahassee and Leon County. That comprehensive plan policies filter down into more specific regulations, namely when we're talking about development, into the Land Development Code. So that's where it gets very specific on what a site will look like, meeting environmental regulations, stormwater management, traffic analyses, buffering for neighboring neighborhoods. So at this point, we're looking at land use and zoning, looking at the proposed land uses and zonings, all the allowable uses in those categories, and whether or not that's an appropriate land use and zoning at these locations. And is this consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies in the comprehensive plan? So the next stage goes into review and permitting, where they look at all those more detailed regulations, and all of those things influence the site design. So today, we don't really know what the finished development would look like. We're just looking at allowable land uses and zoning. A quick overview of the meeting schedule. We always start our comprehensive plan amendment cycle with an open house. This is for the public to attend, to speak directly with planners, to ask us questions, and it's also an opportunity for us to get information from the public, hear what their concerns are, and make sure we're addressing some of those concerns and questions in our staff reports. The next meeting we held was the local planning agency workshop. So similar to this, it was their opportunity to learn about the amendments before the public hearing on February 7th. And that's where they were able to recommend adoption or denial of the amendments that were presented to them. We're here now on March 7th for the commission workshop, your opportunity to learn about the amendments and ask questions of staff, ask us for additional information if needed, and we would add those to our staff reports before they come back to you for transmittal or adoption hearings. The next opportunity for public comment is March 22nd. That will be the adoption public hearing of small scale map amendments. And we have several this year. They're all in city limits. So those are going to a city commission meeting for their public adoption hearing on March 22nd. The joint amendments this year will be going to a transmittal hearing on April 11th. That's where you determine if you'd like us to transmit it to the state land planning agencies for review. And the final adoption hearing on June 13th, where you determine adoption or denial of the joint amendments. And both of those public hearings are opportunities for public comment as well. We have this year one text amendment that applies jointly to the city and the county. This is the Southside Action Plan. How did I lose my place already? Okay, this amends Goal 11 of the land use element, the Southern Strategy Area, to formally rename it Southside Action Plan. It amends objectives and policies to align with the adopted Southside Action Plan. And just a little bit of history, the Southside Action Plan was initiated in 2021 by both the city and the county. Following initiation of the plan, staff began several months of community engagement to update policies to reflect the community priorities that they heard during those engagement opportunities. So from here, I'm going to hand it over to Devin Levins, the Administrator of Special Projects, who's been heading this up, and he's going to go into more of the background of the Southside Action Plan.
Good afternoon. How you guys all doing? Everyone good? Awesome. So bring you guys some exciting news here with regards to the South Side. So like Mindy just said, this was started back in 2021, and we're here now with some information for you guys to be able to start making some decisions as we move forward within the South Side. Again, this was something that both the city and county have seen multiple times, so we're just here to kind of show you where at this point and really start moving forward to get that Southern Strategy term out of the comp plan and really get it to South Side action. And move forward with action within the South Side through this plan. How did we talk to the community? This is something I think that we want everyone to see and see what's going on in the community. Is we've been out there since 2021, really getting down on the ground with the folks in the community. We've done community surveys. We've been at events on the South Side. We set up drop boxes in the library at our Tempo office. We did drive-through engagement down at NIMS Middle School. We really got out where the people were to really talk to folks on the ground, went to some of the parks, set up in the neighborhoods, just to really see what the folks were seeing in the community about what they wanted to happen. We ended up hearing from about 620 survey respondents. Those are just the folks that filled out our survey. That doesn't count all the folks that we had contact with in person and talked to in person. But what really came out of this was that the community wants to see beautification, investment, and engaged and active citizens throughout the South Side. And so as we went back and started looking through this, we're like, we want to make sure we've been out, we've talked to the citizens, let's make our comp plan reflect what the citizens want to see, not just policies that have been there in the past, but how do we really make this reflect the vision of our community. So we developed a draft web plan that we put out last January. It ran from January till June. And if you'll see here, we had another engagement phase once we put that draft web plan out there. That engagement, we got nearly 4,000 views of the plan. We had about 30 views per day. And we got the word out through postcards. We had stuff in newspaper ads, emails, social media lists. I mean, we were going any way we could to get out to the community at this point. So we really wanted to make sure that folks that would come to a meeting would get what they needed, and folks that would never step in one of these buildings got the same information. And so that's what we were focused on as we moved through this project. Today, what we're here for is to just let you guys see where we're at, which is, first of all, getting that Southern Strategy Area term out of our comp plan and replacing that with Southside Action Plan, so we don't have that term that was in there for years that has some negative connotations to it. And then in addition to that, we are having make sure that our language in the comp plan now reflects beautification, investment, and active and engaged citizens. And that's how we're moving forward with this. This won't be the last time that you guys see this. Again, this is the workshop today, so you still will be able to see this again April 11th and June 13th.
Okay, thanks. Moving right into our small-scale map amendments. This year we have 5, actually. One was withdrawn just yesterday. So there are 5 small-scale map amendments. These are all located inside city limits, so only the city would be voting for them per policies in the comprehensive plan. Small scale is defined as 50 acres or less. These are all inside the urban services area. They're all on properties that are currently developed and vacant or underutilized, so these would all be redevelopment projects. And again, they require one public hearing because they're small scale. So these are going to the March 22nd City Commission meeting where there would be opportunity for public comment. Our first amendment is 1718 Mahan Drive. This is actually 2 parcels. It's on the north side of Mahan Drive at the intersection of Mary's Drive. Staff is recommending an expansion of this amendment, and that's the area just to the west. This is currently a non-conforming use. It's the Brant Place Townhomes. The non-conforming use is that they're over density for the residential preservation and RP2 zoning. So this would bring these units into conformity, which is a benefit to the community. It helps retain mixed-use housing and missing middle housing and puts it in a conforming land use and zoning, which is a benefit to the property owners too. The urban residential 2 future land use is proposed for this area. This allows residential development, mixed-use residential development, townhomes, single-family, 2-family, and multifamily homes. And the concurrent rezoning that's requested is medium-density residential, which further identifies the density that would be allowed on that property. It's a minimum of 6 units and a maximum of 16 units per acre. And just want to note that this, because it's still next to residential preservation land use, the application of buffering standards that would include landscaping and site design concepts at the site plan level would provide compatibility to the neighboring residential use. And before I forget, I do want to mention that all the citizen comments that we have received to date, written citizen comments, are in your agenda materials. Just want to make note of that. So moving on to 5411 Capitol Circle Southwest. This is at the corner of Woodville Highway and Capitol Circle Southwest. The requested change is to suburban. This is a privately initiated amendment requesting a change to suburban, which is consistent with surrounding land uses and follows trends in the area where there's been more residential and commercial development. And the requested zoning is general commercial C2, which allows a variety of commercial uses meant to serve nearby residential properties and meant to be located along major primary and arterial roads. I do want to mention this supports the goals of the Southside Action Plan, providing new development, providing employment, providing economic growth. I'll move on to 3534 Thomasville Road. This is at the intersection of Maclay Road and Killarney Way. This is a privately initiated amendment, and again, staff is recommending an expansion of this amendment to include a city-owned parcel that's just to the west. These are currently in lake protection. Lake protection is a land use that's intended to apply to the Lake Jackson drainage basin only, and these properties are actually outside of it. So it's more appropriate to change the land use. The requested land use is high-intensity urban activity center. That's a land use that is intended to promote efficiency of transportation, consolidation of trips, and provide commercial activity in proximity to housing. It is consistent with surrounding uses to the south. All the way to I-10 is high-intensity urban activity center. And I just also want to note this property is currently developed. It has a vacant building on it. So putting it into a more appropriate land use and zoning would allow for redevelopment of the property. Next, this is Lambert Heights and Maryvale. This is a publicly initiated amendment. Staff brought this to the local planning agency on October 4th to give them the opportunity to direct us to include it in the 2023 amendment cycle. The existing future land use is residential preservation. The proposed is university transition, and same for the zoning. Residential preservation 1, proposed to move to university transition. This is located in the area defined by the comp plan where university transition is to be applied, and the intention is to keep student housing from encroaching on viable neighborhoods that are further away from the universities. So it keeps the students close to the universities. I'll go through this one in just a little more detail because there is a West Pensacola sector plan adopted in 2006. The plan acknowledges that the area is changing and it provides potential scenarios and ultimately acknowledges that preservation of single-family zoning in this particular area may not be the best option in the long term because of changing trends in the area. Because of this adopted plan, planning monitors and analyzes home ownership in this area, and it has continued to go down. In 2010, it was 22% homestead exemptions on those properties, down to 18, and down to our last analysis in 2021, where 11 out of 100 homes were homeowner occupied. So the trend has been increasingly rental uses and less homeowner-occupied housing. There are some similar land use and zoning amendments that were approved in the past. In 2016 was the Fairmeadow Amendment. It was residential preservation property that was approved to change to university transition. And the same with 2018, the Chapel Drive Amendment went from residential preservation to university transition. So just to note, this land use and zoning change does not change existing uses. It doesn't, these would not be inconsistent with the change to the land use. It just acknowledges that the area is no longer characterized by homeowner-occupied housing, which is the intent of the residential preservation land use, the current land use. At their public hearing on February 7th, the LPA heard from public speakers who spoke against the amendment, and they did recommend denial. We do have citizen comments provided for this amendment in your agenda materials, where written comments both for and against. And this is our withdrawn. Just didn't want to take the slide out and cause confusion. This one was withdrawn. So this is our last one, Westwood Plaza. This is a piece of property that is privately owned. It's currently in the government operational land use, which is intended for publicly owned properties. So we're proposing to assign it to the university transition land use category, concurrent rezoning to university transition, which is consistent with land use and zoning on all sides of the property. And I'll just leave us with another overview of the bill. Again, these small-scale map amendments will be going to the City Commission meeting on March 22nd. There's opportunity for public comment. The Southside Action Plan will be going in front of the Joint Commissions on April 11th for a transmittal hearing, and then for an adoption hearing in front of the Joint Commissions again on June 13th. Both of those provide opportunity for public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I yield to you, since these are all city amendments, to ask if there is any questions of the city.
Any questions? Commissioner Porter?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll start with this one, and then I have a question about the Southside Action Plan. Could you go into a little bit more detail about why the local planning agency denied the proposed amendment?
Their vote was based on it being inconsistent with the current land use, the current existing uses on the properties, and based on public comment.
Okay, and so how did that differ then from your staff analysis?
Our analysis is that it does not meet the intent of the residential preservation land use category at this time due to the reduced homeowner occupied homes.
Okay, thank
So
you.
the analysis stands.
Okay. And then my next question is about the Southside Action Plan. I'm wondering is there a plan that is forthcoming that is more specific, actionable, and measurable? Because the plan I see we have is, as you said, more of a vision plan. And I feel like it's stronger if that's usually in tandem with something else. So I know we have the neighborhood first plans, but those are as obviously neighborhood specific and not comprehensive of the South Side in its entirety.
Correct. If you'll recall, what we talked about when we talked about this with the retreat is that we're doing a 1+1+5 take on this. Is we can get this into the strategic plans with some actual items that we can track in the strategic plan. So what you'll see is we started alluding to those already in the plan of the things that we are able to track right now and the stuff that we've been able to provide you numbers on. What we'll continue to do is figure out what those are that we see moving forward over the next 2 years. And then the following 5-year strategic plan would have a set of criteria that we would be tracking from there.
Okay, thank you. That's it for me.
Any other questions? Seeing none on the city side, all you, sir?
Thank you. Any questions from the county? Yes.
Thank you. I have some questions on the Southside Action Plan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the up and down for the questions. So my first question is about the language in Objective 11.3 and the Policy 11.31. Can you tell me sort of why we used the language foster community involvement and celebration of the South Side and not something more specific like base decisions on projects on the input of the community?
When you're looking at your comp plan, you're looking much more high level. So that's where we're coming in with this, is we're getting those high level comments in the comp plan level, and then through the action plan is where we would actually implement that. So the comp plan is not an implementing document, it's a guiding document.
Now, the comp plan would be where what dictates the planning process, not the strategic plan, though, when a development comes through.
Yeah, so we have the Southside Action Plan, which is the draft plan that's out there. So the comp plan is telling us to initiate the Southside Action Plan, and then that Southside Action Plan would then be tracked, as Commissioner Porter said, or was asking, through those strategic plans.
My concern is when we have quasi-judicial development review hearings and we have to vote on them, we can't base our decisions, I believe, based on a strategic plan. We have to base our decisions based on the comp plan and the land development code. And so my concern about not having that specific language that doesn't just direct us to foster engagement, but to base our decisions on engagement, is that we as commissioners, when we review in those quasi-judicial hearings, are not able to vote based on the strategic plan. And so that's why my question is gathering information about including it here. That way it's allowable as a basis for where the rubber really meets the road when we're voting on development plans.
Let me respond to that real quick.
Please,
I think
please.
a good way to understand that would be we've engaged with the community for the last 2 years, and what the community has asked for is to be engaged, which we've been doing with them, and to continue engaging them. They're asking for investment, and they're asking for beautification. So any project that comes before you guys that does any of that would be motions you could make moving forward on there. So that's the way we've captured it there. As long as it meets those criteria, you are able to make a decision.
Okay. Then the next question on it is on the reporting piece, 11.4.1. Again, language. We talk about getting a report. Was there any consideration to, instead of just getting a report on the projects, specifying that in that report, we tie the project outcomes to the community input that we got, so we can track that we really are developing based on community input?
Yeah, you're right on. I mean, that goes back to the beautification investment and active engaged citizens. That's what we're tying everything back to, is if it hits those criteria.
Okay. And then I appreciate all the specific questions on this.
Absolutely.
Because it is a big deal, and you have done a lot of work, and the community's put a lot of input on it. So moving on to, we're replacing, we have basically a strike all in the Southside strategy, and we're putting in the Southside Action Plan. My concern is that in the existing language that is having a strike all, there's a lot of specifics about community input we want, or projects and things we want. Like the new plan mentions housing, homeownership, business, and public infrastructure. But in addition to that, the old that's being striked mentioned healthcare facilities, establishing and incurring them, and public school improvements. And I'm curious, did the community input reflect that doesn't need to be included anymore?
So we have other elements to the comp plan. So we have a housing element in the comp plan. We also have capital improvement schedules that happen every year. So some of the stuff is duplicative in a way. That isn't the way it's written into the comp plan. So we're trying to get it more consistent along so we can have it in those other elements of the comp plan, which is part of the comp plan that we're going through right now, where we're going to be having the consultant look at the land use and mobility. So this isn't the last time that we'll be addressing some of these issues.
But this is the place we'll be addressing the Southside Action Plan piece.
Correct.
Okay. Because my concerns on these are all directly related to the South Side. The idea here is that we are, in short, continuing to try to make up for what we haven't done. Okay. Then there's a very specific piece that concerns me more than the others, and I'd like to know if this was specifically considered to be removed. In the old item that's being struck, 11.4.1 has language specific to new heavy infrastructure such as wastewater, airports, correctional facilities, and power plants that serve larger than the neighborhood areas in the South Side shall be located outside of the strategy area. There's nothing specifying that here, and my concern is that that opens the development possibility for this neighborhood to start seeing development of heavy infrastructure use that is not to serve them, that serves the rest of the community, like correctional facilities, major facilities, waste facilities. And to me, that's a huge thing we don't want to see happen. And so I want to make sure that there's somewhere we are still protecting the area from that.
Well, what you would notice is those things are already in the south side. And so I don't see us getting more of those from that standpoint in the south side, because it comes back to developable land. And if you'll take a look at the plan, you'll see in there how much developable land we have. The land is very minimal that can be developed, and it's a lot of environmental features for that reason.
So we're removing it because we've already got too many, and we're not worried about there becoming more. We don't think that's going to happen.
I wouldn't say it's because we would say we have too many. Again, it's going back to things that are going to reflect beautification and investment on the south side. And so if there is an issue with stormwater that we had to correct, the south side may be the only way we could correct it, and we wouldn't want to hinge ourselves from not being able to do that.
Okay, and when you got community input, nobody had an issue with this. There was an issue that was brought up. Okay, all right, thank you for that.
Question, come back. Thank you. I have Commissioner Proctor and Commissioner Minor in queue, but the city's done a lot of work on this, correct? And for the most part, what part of the South City Action Plan is actually in the unincorporated area?
You have about 20%.
About 20%. Where is that 20% located? What part?
What we were referring to is kind of the triangle. That's a piece of that, and it's kind of around the triangle area. It kind of splotches around it. It's really jagged the way the boundary runs there.
Okay. Now, as far as reports back to the county versus what the city's done, because I do appreciate you guys' work on this and the time and effort that you put into it, the many meetings, and even I believe your retreat focuses a bunch on this. As far as that's concerned, the reports back to the county specifically on the piece that's in an unincorporated area, how often does that happen?
The last one that you guys received was already provided an update last year at your retreat on South Side update. It was just to the general South Side, which incorporated that.
Thank you. I did want to make just real comment. I think the city has done an amazing job with this. Even the change in the name, I appreciate that too. It came from you all. And the time and effort that you put into it, I have appreciated. And commissioners, I want you to know that though we may not have seen this a whole bunch and may not have made a whole bunch of decisions or had a whole bunch of say, the city have seen this how many times in the past year and done an immense amount of work on it. And I do appreciate us having questions to understand what they've done, but I'm pretty confident a lot of T's have been crossed and I's have been dotted with the work that they've done there. So if we have any questions, of course, I think we ask those questions, but let's be very, very appreciative of the fact that the city, which is 80% of this plan, has done a lot of work there and have considered a lot of citizen input and deal with the same issues that we deal with when it comes to having to hear how much the citizens want to be involved in this plan. So again, I just want to just reiterate how much I appreciate the fact that you have done that. And I have complete confidence in that 80% that you guys hold of the South City Action Plan. But I also want to know too, just if we can, on that 20%, I think already giving us that update every now and then is a good thing. But just if we could really, really dig into what part we can play in just that 20% that's in an unincorporated area, I would appreciate that as well. I have Commissioner Proctor and then Commissioner Minor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, first off, I want to give a shout out to Sister Brenda Williams and for the evolution of the South City work that she's doing. I think that it is compatible to the policy hopes and aims, and just to see the roof on that part where we were kicked that dirt over a few months ago, and to see the third floor now getting roofing is really stimulating. So kudos to Brenda and for Tallahassee Housing Authorities and their board and their leadership in bringing housing and closing the gap. There's no doubt that with the cost of housing, I'm not ashamed to say that for affordability and those things, the South Side welcomes We don't have to have a gated neighborhood. We don't have to have ponds and tennis courts. We're okay. But affordable is still so essential right now for housing. And I believe that the people who live there now in this area that we've targeted as the, that was given to us and our kids, this is one of the most challenged areas. And I honestly don't know, with the way the market is going, if many of these people, I say 30% of these people in 6 or 7 years ain't gonna be able to stay here. I don't know if they're going to Wakulla, Carabel, I don't know where you go. But if you look at the cost of dirt and housing, it's alarming. I don't know if we put a moratorium on rent payment. A lot of these people pay rent. And the cost of rent, these people not gonna make it. I know our job is dealing with directing bricks and mortar, but rent is going to be problematic for this area that's been circled. Secondly, my concerns are around Capitol Circle, its possibilities for commercial development. As we look at the bulldozers out there now, I'm thoroughly excited. And yet, that potential would be very, very inflammatory if we bring new hot razzle dazzle along that corridor that's being knocked down at the end of Orange Avenue, coming back around in front of the airport. And I really think that we've got to give some this question, can we do something more focused? I think that the growth is in this new corridor. And we really, just like our OEV staff went after and landed Amazon, we need to go get, and I know we got hoteliers ganging up down in Gaines Street area. We need to sell this. We need a marketing effort. We need a marketing effort from Highway 20, coming back around to past Woodville Highway. That right there is a lot of money. That's a lot of energy. And if we bring that area up right, in terms of the next thing about infill, if we bring this right here up correctly, the infill will take care of itself. It ain't gonna be affordable to the people who are down there. I don't see another generation being able to hang on with cost. Not the desire, they're not trying to leave. It's just people are dying and the cost to stay there. I don't know what we can do, Mr. Mayor, commissioners, to put a special lens, but we need an overlay with a special focus on Capitol Circle. Pass by, the most robust economic thing down there is the flea market. Man, the flea market barely got some wooden posts with a roof on it. Do we understand that the strongest economic flow of diverse goods is at that flea market? And it's just as raggedy as it can be. Can't get no raggedier. A gust of wind 40 and 50 miles an hour, had Casanova been correct last week, and 50 miles an hour, we hit the flea market, and there have been sticks all over the place and tin roof. We need more. We're getting a brand new multi-million-dollar, $100 million worth of highway. And something has got to front that highway, like hotels and restaurants and Chuck E. Cheese's and Lowe's and all of them. But please pay attention that right now, the biggest flow of money that happens every weekend is the flea market, and it's ridiculous for infrastructure. That's why I'm asking us for some kind of projected overlay. And we need to do it now, because when the road gets built and the dirt is out there, you can see it, earthworms crawling, trying to get out the way. You can see it, it's coming. But we need a plan for everything that abuts and is adjacent to that front, and to visualize and articulate what we want to come around that circle, that part. As we give consideration to this plan, Southside Action Plan, what can we do? CVS is scheduled to leave all of those areas, sick people with nowhere to get their medicine. How does a corporation come in, fleece the neighborhood down? They're the only game left, Walgreens left. People are leaving the area. Now, while we incentivize folk, can we punish folk for leaving, deserting, when you know the medical conditions of the majority of the citizens, and pharmaceutical pulls out on the sickest part of town? What can our comp plan do with the southern aspects of an action plan that anchors people who for real about serving in the area? And there's a sheet of paper. When you look at when CVS pulls out, that leave a lot of people, y'all, without access to life and life support called medicine. Makes it complicated. And I'm concerned with how can we strengthen the relationship of corporations that have come, induce people, give them a few jobs, they're going to leave, all of the ripple effect. It seems like the bigs are walking away. The bigs don't want no part of us. And thank God that SOMO project is there, re-upping and committing something new. I believe that with our effort, let's look at the real dynamics. And then finally, as I consider what staff has given to us today, I'm okay with the development at Woodville Highway and Capitol Circle. It's good. But equitably speaking, I'm also interested in the caliber of infrastructure that we're bringing to this brand new community, that we redouble our efforts, that people can use the bathroom in their house and it can get out of their yards and go to where everybody else's business goes. Then the final thing, Mr. Chairman, in the South Side right now, I don't know where these big old airplanes fly so low and so loud. We have a problem. Can we get a no-fly zone from time of, it's just ridiculous. Round and round, just, it's like our lives, our families, what we doing don't matter. Somebody's out there flying over us all the time. It's not commercial flight, it's just round and round. Commissioner Richardson, you may have heard it. Commissioner Williams, you may have heard it. Can we do something, reduce the noise from the air? And those are my concerns in trying to digest all of what we're projecting and aiming to do. I just want to make sure that there's an equitable inclusion of the infill consistent with what we're doing with breaking ground for highway down there on Woodville and Capitol Circle. We'll make sure that we are very intentional and respect what we got coming with Capitol Circle. It's the new, it's great potential. Those are my comments. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Minor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I actually have some comments that relate to the Southside Action Plan, but they also pertain generally to infill, so I'll wait till the next item. I do want to thank the city for all their great work on the Southside Action Plan. It's a tremendous amount of work that's been done, and very supportive. Thank you.
Commissioner Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I appreciate everybody's concern about the south side of Tallahassee. I really do, and I appreciate your questions and your interest. But, what you have to understand is that you've got people with skin in the game who live on the south side of town and have been a part of this for years. I've lived on the south side of town for 30 years, y'all. The reason I ran for the city commission was to address issues just like these. Commissioner Williams Cox has lived on the south side for that same period of time. And there is absolutely no way that we would sit here and it was actually Commissioner Williams Cox that brought the issue to us of that Southern strategy and what that meant during the time that it was in force and that we needed to change that name. That was her suggestion. She deserves that credit. So I just want you all to understand that that's why we're here. We've got skin in that game. I built my home on the south side of town. Nobody had to rent me a place. Well, I was a tenant for a little while. Congressman. Commissioner Henry Lewis was my landlord for a while till he sold me the property to build my house on. But we're proud of where we live. Do we have improvements to be made? Absolutely. There is no question. There has not been the political will in this community in the past to address those issues. But that will is here now, and we see it happening. When of 32 blueprint projects, $270 million is committed to the south side of Tallahassee. That's not chump change, y'all. We've committed to building a new fire station on the south side of town, $60 million. We've seen infrastructure improvements in terms of our streets, sidewalks. If you look at Magnolia and where it is now, especially the part near Monroe, it's not what it used to be. And I think as we build the infrastructure in this area, we're going to attract development. We've got to be intentional about what that development is going to look like. But I think once we put the infrastructure in place, and I've seen it happen in other areas of our community, you build the infrastructure and they will come. You increase the density and they will come. You increase the economic condition and they will come. But all of those have to happen in order for us to see the changes made that we want to see made. But that commitment is there. And I can tell you, as long as I serve on this commission, and I sense that that is the case with our city commission, that we'll be committed to ensuring that the kinds of changes that we want to see on the south side of Tallahassee and other areas of the community, it's not just the south side. We're talking about Griffin Heights and Frenchtown and other areas that have been neglected over the years, that we will make sure that those things happen. But we're going to need everybody's support in that. And so that's why I say I appreciate your questions and your concern and the issues you raise. But there's no way that certainly Commissioner Williams Cox and I would sit here if we didn't feel comfortable that those issues were being addressed. So, Mr. Chairman, thank you for your time. Thank you all for your indulgence. And we certainly look forward to this plan moving forward to further improve the quality of life for all of our residents, that wherever they live, and I tell people this all the time, wherever they live in the city of Tallahassee, they can feel like they live in an all-America city that she has twice been designated. That's my goal. I think all of us share that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I have Commissioner Matt Lowe and then Commissioner Proctor wants to come.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I just wanted to jump in. I appreciate the comments from the county as well. I think, when we bring new ideas to the table, it only serves to make the final product better. And I think, looking around the table, I think everybody's goal for the South Side is just that. There are great neighborhoods on the South Side, as Commissioner Richardson, said that's where he built his home and lives in a great neighborhood. There's also neighborhoods on the South Side that don't have such great infrastructure. So I think it's important we measure success not just by the dollars we've invested south of Tennessee, so to speak, but in the quality of life of the people that live there. Because we could say we invested millions of dollars in a wastewater treatment facility, but the people who live there wouldn't think that was a great investment. We're going to spend a lot of money on regional stormwater facilities, but that serve the whole city, but don't directly, benefit the neighborhoods. And I think from the spirit of the questions, I heard that's what it's about. How are we making sure we're actually putting our dollars that help the people who live there in the surrounding neighborhoods, apart from some of these, larger things that impact the whole city, wastewater treatment, what have you. So I think that was a fair point. Would be happy to work that back in if that were the desire. But I do think I think we're all on the same team. We all want to see the same thing in the end, and that's a flourishing south side of the city of Tallahassee. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Proctor's up next, but I did want to reiterate my comments in particular were based around the fact that I have an immense amount of respect for you guys at the city and the work that you do. And the fact that you do care. I think as a group, you've dug into this Southside Action Plan, and I have complete confidence in that. But and I also have confidence in the fact that if I had questions or if I had comments, that I could go to your staff, I can go to you all in this setting and be able to express those things. But I think the point I wanted to get across was very clearly, very succinctly, was simply that you guys have done good work, and you've done work, and you've accepted the comments that we've had, and you've listened to the things that we've had to say, but ultimately, 80% of that land and that plan is right inside you guys' hands, and 20% inside is with us. And so there's a feeling of togetherness when we come here. We have this conversation around the comp plan and the things we like to see and the things we hear. But you guys have done, again, we've seen it once. We've heard from Artie about it once, if I'm correct. We hear from him about it once a year. But again, going back to how many times have you guys talked about this over the past year? How many things have you changed and looked at, and how many citizens have you heard from that I've watched the meetings, but I wasn't there. I wasn't listening. I wasn't digging into it. I didn't meet with staff. So I just want to give some respect to that and let you guys know that as far as I'm concerned, I have confidence in what you're doing, but I also have confidence in the fact that if I had something to say, that you would hear me out and you would listen. Commissioner Proctor.
Thank you. I think Commissioner Richardson said it best, Mr. Chairman, that our staff is focused, or to the extent that they have given us this work product, is to the extent that Commissioner Richardson said that this commission has shown political will and seriousness of purpose with respect to what we want our staff to focus on. It's a priority to us. So I'm grateful for a city commission, which for years before you came, no disrespect, Commissioner Williams, I just don't think that folk historically understood what the word Southern strategy meant. And I know for 2 decades, I've mentioned it as far back as 2 decades that we don't want this strategy. We don't want a Southern strategy. But no one heard it. Your voice is more mellow, and thank God you were heard. But I've tried. Nobody heard. Thank you so much. I wanted to point 2 more elements quickly. And I already indicated to me, thank you, that there is a transportation element within this area of Southside Action Plan. And that transportation element, if I can remember, is to improve, enhance, to invigorate the flow of people accessing places they're going. And I need to point out to us, if no other purpose, that our scriveners would capture that the changing of Adams Street and Woodville Highway to a one-way pair, it does violence to the transportation element in the Southern strategy. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's what I'm trying to, Southside Action Plan. And unfortunately, the CRPTA, which is not us, have something to do, and the state of Florida has something to do with enforcing something that is going to create a more adverse transportation situation. It's unbelievable that this roundabout business and this one-way pairing, it does not strengthen transportation, it frustrates transportation. And I can't think of anything more that we all continue to do as a collective body from our comp plan committee. Our blueprint is continue to wear down and beat down the CRPTA. They need their heads beaten down. This is horrific. I'm not a planner and all of that, but I know 80-year-old people negotiating how to go home I wouldn't want my dad to try to negotiate that. It's just horrific. And ain't no need for us to let folk just come to Tallahassee and run over us. This is our community. We got to fight hard on that, y'all. Then finally, dealing with the Southside Action Plan, I sincerely believe that the fairground is a locational site. We ought to get more purposed as well as urgent with respect to doing whatever it is that we're going to do. We need that fairground inside of this space right here to stand up and be somebody. And be somebody more than 10 days out the week, out the year, and be a little fair. The rest of the time it's a little gun show. The rest of the time it's just whatever come next. We need a site specific that the world knows these are the activities emanating. And if we're going to strengthen Southern, Commissioner, pull that thing out my head. Okay. She took the cartridge out and put in another cartridge in. Thank you. That's what we're going to do. Southside Action Plan. We need the fairground as an activity center. We need it urgently. And I believe the sooner that we get there, and I'd like to bring forward to the blueprint some ideas when we do blueprint to express and to secure your support moving forward. Thank you so very much. And thank you.
Mayor.
I wasn't planning on speaking today, but Commissioner Proctor, based on your comments, I support you 150%, big picture vision for the fairgrounds. And I am looking forward to hearing what your ideas are that you're going to bring to the blueprint. Could not agree with you more. what an incredible opportunity to have dynamic change with a piece of land that is truly underutilized. And hey, I'll leave it there. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and let's begin this conversation.
Could you imagine a one-way pairing that would frustrate people's reach to the fairground?
Yeah, no. You're absolutely right on the transportation elements too. Who does serve on CRTPA amongst us? Are you the chair of CRTPA this year? Who's the chair?
That's right.
Who's the vice
Commissioner
chair?
Meyer. Yeah, Commissioner Messerschmidt. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Commissioner Williams Cox.
Chair, since everybody's talking, I cannot not say
Yes, ma'am.
thank you for your compliments on the work that you've done with the city of Tallahassee regarding the Southside Action Plan. A plan that has sat on the shelf for many years that we blew the dust off and renamed it. So thank you for that compliment, and thank you to my fellow commissioners on the city side for agreeing to let me lead this effort. And I appreciate that. And I don't remember, I'm assuming, I probably shouldn't assume, but on the county side, it being the majority of it being in Commissioner Proctor's district, I'm sure he's your leader and the voice of wisdom and that you're listening to once he gets the name correct. But
Brainwash so long, just brainwash.
But I want to caution us that it has been a long time coming. So we cannot expect to go straight from 0 to 75 because we want to do it right. And so the focus that is being asked for is coming. In the words of Dion, we're coming. But we can't expect to have that focus right now. The staff has done an extremely incredible job of going through this comp plan, which, having served on the planning commission, it is not an easy job to go through this comp plan and pull and do all the things that they've done. But they've done that while getting community engagement. And they're not just telling us they got community engagement. I know because we were there. We were out there with them getting this community engagement because we were part of the community. So we engaged and we were there to encourage others. So I just want to say thank you all for recognizing the work that has been done. And thank you to the staff for the work that they have done. It's taken a lot of weekends and nights and things that they could have been doing other things to do this. And we really appreciate the effort. And going forward, we look forward to putting more meat on the bone. The problem we have with our society, in my opinion, right now, is that we want everything right now. We can't microwave our way out of things all the time. We've got to take those steps, answer the questions. I don't have a problem with the questions. Devin and his team and Wayne Tedder, and they have the answers. If they don't, they'll go find them. So ask your questions because it is for the whole community. The direct impact will be in the geographical area of the South Side, but it is for the whole community because we have a community like this, and we're trying to get a community like this. And in order for that to happen, there has to be input from here, and there has to be input from here. So I thank you for your compliments. I thank the staff, and I thank the city commissioners for allowing me to help lead this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Caban, then we'll vote. So,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also wasn't, this being my first workshop and still being a relatively new commissioner, I wasn't going to say too much and just kind of watch the room and listen. But I first want to thank the city because 5411 Capitol Circle Southwest, Hilton Proctor's district, that rezoning does create better accessibility for folks in my district in Woodville, allowing people coming from Highway 20 down Capitol Circle to the other side of town. I do believe that there are a lot of opportunities, specifically along Capitol Circle, with buildings that are long-term zoned as industrial that aren't being used to their full potential, for us to really look at rezoning and spurring some economic development and really ultimately creating a better quality of life for not only folks on the south side, but also in Woodville and Highway 20. And a lot of time those communities, we're talking about plans, I think they're oftentimes forgotten about. Additionally, since we're talking about the South Side, there's a hidden gem in the South Side that I have the pleasure of serving with the mayor on, and that's the LCRDA, Innovation Park. I believe that Innovation Park is being entirely underutilized as being a gem on Orange Ave, sitting between Roberts Ave and Orange Ave. And I think as a board, we're somewhat kind of leaving it out to dry by not looking at zoning around Innovation Park and looking at really increasing density in that area. As a business owner, I know that if I was bringing a business to Leon County, the first thing I'd be looking for is housing for my employees. And directly related to Innovation Park, there really is no walkability or mobility other than cars. And so if our goal is to look at bringing more economic development and more businesses specifically for Innovation Park, I think we need to look at a mile radius around that part of town and looking at increasing density in the future. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Chairman, point of information on Commissioner Bond's comments, and that is, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Given your comments, you think that, and what would it take if Florida State gave up the golf course and we were able to use that for housing that supported, sustained Innovation Park? I mean, a serious look. So much water is in the area, so much creekified, flat lands, water is amazing. And the best property is the golf course, and I can just see we could move it and build someplace else for housing.
I don't golf, so no. But I would have to look at it in more depth, and obviously have a deep conversation with you guys.
Let me go ahead and answer that question. I bet you're not giving out the golf course. Is there a motion for staff recommendation of option one?
Florida State is not committed to affordable housing.
Commissioner Proctor, I can tell you, FSU just spent $8 million 5 years ago to make that course. So they probably want us to start there.
So
That would be the most expensive dirt on the South Side.
The thing you will appreciate after a while is that Commissioner Proctor has some great questions that sometimes just probably shouldn't be answered. Is there a motion for staff recommendation? From the city side, Mr. Mayor, you want to run that?
We're taking action.
Yeah, it's just accept the report. Option one. Yes, sir. Is there a motion from county side, option one?
So moved.
Second? All right, motion made by Commissioner Myers, seconded by Commissioner Cummings. Any objection? Seeing none, short is approved. Mr. Mayor?
Motion to approve the presentation. And probably moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Commissioner Richardson. Those in favor, say aye.
All right. Artie, next item?
Thank you, Chairman, Mayor, Commissioners. The next item of this workshop is a report on infill development and redevelopment as requested by both the board and the City Commission. When we look at our current goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan and what it says about infill development, and when you look at it, it usually uses the phrase infill development and redevelopment, kind of recognizing that they kind of go hand in hand. What the comprehensive plan says about that is we're looking at development that occurs on vacant or underused property within the urban service area. So you can kind of see on the map the area that we're really focused on where development would happen. And this aligns with where infrastructure would be available. Really, the comprehensive plan puts a lot of focus on development occurring where infrastructure is available, and that's why we have the urban service area. A key component of infill development and redevelopment is also some of the other benefits that we see. So yes, it's aligning development with infrastructure, but as you'll see kind of in the presentation, there's a lot of other spillover benefits as well. One of those is more efficient use of land. So infill development, redevelopment, those terms are not synonymous with density. They're not synonymous with compact, mixed-use, walkable urbanism. But based on our land development code, particularly the multimodal transportation district, as infill development and redevelopment occur, it actually does occur at a higher density. It occurs with more of a mixture of uses in a more compact kind of way. And a good example of that is if we look at the Cascades project just down the street, we have that development that accommodates about 300 units on 5 acres. If we look at the more traditional development patterns that we've seen, particularly since the 60s, 70s, 80s, low density residential, somewhere in the ballpark of half acre lots, to accommodate the same number of residential units, we'd be looking at about 218 acres. So if we look at redevelopment and infill development as opportunities to promote density, to promote compact, walkable, mixed-use urban areas, we do see a significant increase in terms of the efficiency of the land that we use. Along with that is increased efficiency with infrastructure. So the 5-acre example utilizes about 0.3 miles of paved roads, whereas the traditional model of development uses about 4.04 miles on average. And so we see a huge increase in terms of the efficiency of how we use land, of how infrastructure is provided. And this is just roads. You can kind of extrapolate that out to water, sewer, electric, things like that. Infill development and redevelopment can occur either large scale or in smaller scale examples. One of the more larger scale examples of urban infill would be Camellia Oaks. And this is a project that actually came into the planning department and got some site assistance with DesignWorks, our in-house urban design studio. And it incorporates a variety of housing types. So we have not only single-family detached homes, but we also have duplexes in there. And it integrates that with parks and walking trails. And so it accomplishes multiple other goals beyond just promoting infill and redevelopment. It also supports our goal of having what we often call missing middle housing, that type of housing somewhere between the single-family home and the apartment complex. So looking at things like duplexes and triplexes and quads and very small apartments or multiplexes. So when we have infill development happening and redevelopment happening, is a really good way for us to move the ball forward on various other goals as well. Another large-scale example, and this is kind of the premier example locally of large-scale redevelopment, is Gain Street. And this is a case where we had public investment that went in, improved the infrastructure, took a corridor that was really not walkable, wouldn't really support a mix of uses, wouldn't support increased densities, and really made it a more walkable area, an area that would support increased densities and intensities and more of a mixture of uses, and has led to just a lot of private investment that's followed that public investment. So this is an example of large-scale redevelopment. But I don't want to forget about the more incremental, the more small-scale examples as well, because a lot of infill development and redevelopment happen at that scale. So one of those is Magnolia Oaks. This is a development on 6.8 acres, so way smaller than the 95 acres you saw for Camellia Oaks. This is less than 10 acres. And this is another example where urban infill and redevelopment really support a lot of our community goals beyond just having increased efficiency with land and increased efficiency with infrastructure. Magnolia Oaks, located on Magnolia Drive, is an example where we're getting increased density inside the multimodal transportation district, and increased density supports transit and walkability and things like that, so we get that benefit. This is also a low to moderate income development that is also including senior housing. So multiple of our goals all really captured in this one redevelopment example. And then Gardens at Glenview is another one. This is very small scale. This was 1.8 acres. This was a development that replaced one single family detached home with 10. So again, it's inside the multimodal transportation district where we want to see increased densities. It's kind of at the edge of it, but it's inside the multimodal transportation district, and it complements the surrounding residential areas as well. So it shows that you can increase density in a way that is consistent and compatible with adjacent neighborhoods. When we look at these examples, they really highlight the way a lot of our policies and a lot of our regulations come together. So when we look at our comprehensive plan, our growth strategy is really reflected in our future land use map. So this is showing where different lands go, what uses can be done where, things like that. The urban services area is included in the comprehensive plan. the multimodal transportation district is enabled in the comprehensive plan and then implemented through the code. And so this is really kind of comes together, a lot of different goals, objectives, policies in the comp plan. And then you see that really coming through implementation with a number of incentives that are in both the City of Tallahassee and the Leon County Land Development Codes. And so a lot of these things really come together, which is why we see when this development happens, a lot of our other goals being achieved as well. I will say at this point that we have a really tremendous opportunity where, based on the direction from you all, we have hired a consultant who's working on our land use and our mobility elements of our comprehensive plan. And this is really going to give us an opportunity to look at this growth strategy, look at how we are doing these things, and see, do we need to make changes? What kind of changes need to be made through a lot of input from the community, a lot of analysis of various data points. When we look at the urban service area specifically, what we've seen is since the comprehensive plan was adopted in 1990, establishing the urban service area, it's been incrementally changed here and there a number of times, 17 exact, but overall it's only increased in size about 2.68%. Some of those modifications, those 17, expanded it out, other ones contracted it in, and so it's been a little bit of give and take over the years, but it hasn't increased that much in the past since 1990. In that time, our population has grown 55.4%. What this tells us is most of the development that is happening in our community is considered infill development according to the comprehensive plan. And we see that with some of the additional analysis we've done. So since 2002, when we've really been able to start pulling the permit data and kind of looking at this at a more fine-grained detail, we see that just about 100% of commercial development has occurred inside the urban service area. So we're not seeing rural lands being converted into commercial uses. We've also seen about 88% on average of the residential development occurring inside the urban service area. There's always going to be some who want to live in the more rural areas, 10-acre lots, larger, things like that. But the vast majority of the development that we've seen is incremental or is infill development or redevelopment inside the urban service area. I mentioned the opportunity we have with an update to the land use and mobility elements. This is going to give us an opportunity to really assess how our goals, objectives, and policies have been working, and really look to see if changes need to be made to align land use and transportation more closely together. They're really not concepts that you should look at separately. We really should be looking at transportation and land use together, exactly for the reasons I mentioned a moment ago, where we want to see increased densities in the multimodal transportation district because that's how we're going to get more transit and more people using transit. And just generally, if we're looking at things like industrial uses, how do we make sure that it has access to the airport, has access to the interstate, things like that. Right now, our consultant is at work looking at a variety of data that they've requested from us, creating some baseline conditions so they can start doing some scenario planning, some additional analysis, and they're developing the community engagement outreach plan. So we hope to be kicking that off very soon. The next steps for this are, again, assessing the current goals, objectives, and policies of the land use and mobility elements, seeing how well they've served the community and how well they would continue serving the community over the next 20, 30 years. Continued data analysis, this is something that will go on throughout the entirety of the project. As we develop goals, objectives, policies, we'll need to make sure that the data are supporting those. We'll be kicking off the initial public engagement probably later this month, next month. Again, with some of those baseline conditions and analyses, we'll be looking at various growth scenarios. We'll be drafting goals, objectives, and policies. And over the next 2 years, as we're doing this work, we'll come back to you multiple times in updates and in workshops to get direction from you on the land use and mobility elements. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Commissioner Minor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Artie, thanks for the presentation and for the work on the agenda item. Really appreciate it. A year or two ago, we had an agenda item that talked about, and I hope I have the numbers right here, I'm going by memory, in addition to projected affordable housing stock growth, we think we need 11,500 new affordable housing units by 2045. I think that's the right number. When we met to talk about land use and mobility elements in the past, we were about ready to start making some changes and recommendations, but we kind of hit pause and said we would need to have a consultant take a look and answer some basic questions that would help us with deciding whether or not we need to make updates to the comp plan. And we had that discussion then about how we needed to have more information coming to us about what types of units would be in demand, right? Single family detached versus duplexes versus multifamily. What areas might be best suited for that growth? What can we do in terms of policymakers here to make sure we meet that goal, that projected need of 11,500 by 2045 on top of expected growth, right? So my question is the consultant, I want to reconfirm the discussion we had a year or more ago. If the consultant is working right now with you, and we'll be working with the public on community engagement to get those answers, right? Because when this comes back to us on making recommendations on land use and mobility, I like to have enough of that information to be able to make an informed decision. So it's more the density bonuses, what we have here, the ideas and motivations on encouraging growth or infill growth are great, but I'd like to go one level down, right? We need to use these tools to help us achieve X number of units by 2045. Right? I want to get to that level. And we can't force people to develop here and not there within the zoning, of course, but I want to have an idea on like where we can most effectively create those motivations to have the growth take place in areas that we think will be, even within the USA, optimal. Are the things I'm describing, when working with a consultant now, community engagement, those answers are going to be provided by the work that they're doing currently. Is that correct?
That's correct, Commissioner. As the comp plan included when it was originally adopted, it identified kind of the growth areas, where those areas would occur. In 1990, the comp plan said, Wulani and the southeast sector were going to be those locations. And over time, we've seen some additions and revisions to that. We've seen an emphasis on again, formerly the South Side or Southern Strategy area, now South Side Action Plan, wanting to see some investment there. So we've seen some change. This is going to really give us an opportunity to look at, what is on the ground and what's going to happen in the future to ensure that we will have an adequate supply of housing stock to accommodate projected population growth. One, that's just good planning, and two, it's also statutorily required.
That's good, because I could see us having a discussion when this comes back to us on saying, here's the land that's developable. Here are the current tools we have in our toolbox to encourage development. But even with the projected need, with the effectiveness of these tools being available and applied, we're still coming up short X number of units. What can we do as policymakers to make sure we increase density bonuses or create other motivations to make sure we can meet those goals? That's the kind of discussion I think we're going to have when this all comes back to us. Does that jive with what you're thinking too?
It does.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much, Artie. Thanks again for the agenda item.
Commissioner Proctor. Commissioner O'Keefe.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Artie, thank you to you and your staff for this. This was a very helpful report, especially as a new commissioner coming in. And I'm really excited about the focus on increasing density by infill and developing this missing middle. That's the type of housing me and my wife live in. It's the only type of housing that we, could reasonably afford. And so it's really important. And so I like to see that. My question is on, or actually just kind of encouraging for the consultant's community engagement outreach plan. Please let us know anything we can do to broadcast that far and wide and increase community engagement neighborhood by neighborhood, because I'm really excited about this opportunity, because I think it has the possible outcome of cutting down on the very long neighborhood opposition meetings if we incorporate their community input here. And so I'm excited about that. And then this report just mentioned the separate analysis of possibly changing ADU requirements to remove the minimum lot size, and that's on schedule to come back towards the end of the year. I want to confirm that's on schedule. And then can you tell me, is that a policy that will come before the city, the county, or both when it's ready?
That's that agenda item is something that Mr. Wilcox, Development Support and Environmental Management, is currently working on and looking at. Right now, the city and the county have separate AU policies in their respective land development codes. The city has fairly recently updated theirs, and so this would be an opportunity for the county to revisit theirs. Did you have anything to add to that, Barry?
Thank you again. Thank you. And I'll just reiterate, this is affordable housing is a huge issue, so anything we can do, we want to know we can do. Thank you.
Commissioner Proctor.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, I wanted to share a couple of things with you. On the Southern Strategy area, some years ago, I raised a question about, we had what was called sector planning. When I talked about overlay, looking at Capital Circle, special areas, our staff has this stuff on the shelf, and it's not too hard to do because we've done it, and we have split up South Monroe, South Central, Oak Ridge, and all like that. Staff, I'm gonna share this with y'all in case you can't find your copy, that we can go back and see what we have written in previous years. We've done that. Our staff has been when we looked at that Southern Strategy, looking at single family, we're talking about redlining, how little activity is occurring in this area. And the contrast and the comparison is to find what activity ranges have occurred. Now, we awakened Gain Street, okay? You're absolutely right. And that's impressive when you talk about the money on Gain Street. But when we talk about single family housing starts from the south parts of the Southern Strategy in this area, in this era, from 98 to 2002, ain't a lot changed. It's not a lot. Thank God Brenda has 400 units coming, but ain't a lot changing. And when we look at the maps of this same period to the Great Northeast, and Commissioner Welch, the dots on the numbers speak for themselves. That's why Commissioner Richardson said what he said, that we put some energy, some action, because it's been slow in coming, and our numbers tell that truth. Finally, Mr. Chairman, I want to say to us commissioners, Mr. Mayor, if you allow me to take just years of my being at this table, I share with you ownership map of our community, and this is probably older than some of our children. This is the part that concerns me. This is the south side, and then that light green part. Everything over there in light green is St. Joe. Everything over here in dark green is federal government. What I'm trying to say to us, we need the federal government to get up off of this green. We need to acquire this property for there is no plan. They ain't doing nothing. We go out there and clean up the woods. The homeless is out there in the area. They've been like this. A whole 1/5 of the whole county is the federal government down here. Our future can come right there. Okay? Our future, I don't know if it can come through Southwood, but the federal government needs to get up off of it. This is your district. I'm asking us to consider, based upon our need for housing, for dirt, federal government ain't doing nothing. Now, is there a precedent of why I believe that we can do this? Yes. Because when our initial plan to move the fairground, Ken, you may remember, Wayne, you may remember, they gave up that property on adjacent to Capital Circle across from the flea market. What was that, about 120, 130 acres, okay? Why? Because it couldn't be burned. It was not successional. It couldn't be burned. Ain't none of this can be burned. the same criteria that it can't be burned, and therefore you could relinquish. That's what Mr. Dunn has got to help us do. All of this is for affordable. All of this expands our territory. This makes us, it's just huge. And I think that as a body collective, federal government cannot justify nothing that they are doing tangibly that benefits our community. We don't pay taxes. We ain't gonna lose nothing. It needs to come to us. And I'm hopeful that, you know, it seems like a big thing to say for Proctor to say, but y'all 27 years just brings you to a level of passivity that something got to move. And that movement can come from here. Ms. Mayor, I go to Washington, D.C. or any place you want to go and talk them out of it. We need that dirt right there to fulfill the objectives of that Southern strategy and just living and expanding our territory. We're territory bound, and we needn't be. And ain't nothing growing out here but a lot of trees and stuff. So I want to propose, and I don't know if this is the right place to propose it.
It's not, but we can listen. We can listen to it.
Okay. I want to propose, and I won't make a motion, but I do want to propose that city and county come together and that we create a plan to advance our federal government, that they relinquish and turn this dirt over because it is not secessional forest any longer. And frankly, you're not going to put no smoke up that in the pathway of where airplanes come down. You just can't do that. So it's, you know, I read the Bible sometimes, and we read that part that say you ask, you seek, and you knock. And I think that we should ask and seek and knock and expand the territory of our community. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. It's just a proposal, Mr. Chairman.
I get it. So look, so Commissioner Proctor, you could make a proposal. I mean, you could make a motion, but that motion will have to be ratified at the county meeting. I think what I would prefer most, if you would mind, is that you give intent to make the motion during our next county meeting, and then at that county meeting, we then be able to bring it back.
I'd like to explore and make the motion that we explore our federal government, given it can't do anything with this robbery, is no longer a forest that doesn't qualify, that we seek to secure it in the interest of the county for affordable housing, recreation, other consideration.
Motion been made by Commissioner Proctor to, say it again? Address the federal government
explore securing from the federal government its properties down in southwest Leon County.
Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cummings. Madam Attorney, given where we are, I'm thinking that, how would this work? As far as, it'd be ratified, if a motion passes, it'd be ratified at the county meeting.
And at that point, then staff would start working on it. But without ratification, the staff does not start working on anything because public comment's not allowed to workshops.
Okay, so will we need both a city and a county? Just the county? Okay, all right. So actually, this point, you probably don't have a comment. Any comments on the motion on the floor? Commissioner Minor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Proctor, I understand why you're making the motion. I don't think I can support the motion right now. I've got to think about this. I got to. What I recommend is totally up to you, sir. But what I'd recommend is, since we've got to discuss it at the county commission anyway, would you entertain the idea of making the motion then? Because right now, I don't feel like I can vote for it because I mean, this comes out of the blue. I have no idea about the pros and cons. How do you know, what type of natural inventory do we have, natural features inventory do we have in the forest? I got to weigh that decision. And without having that decision-making process done yet, I can't support the motion yet.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. The sheriff told us he's documented over 400 homeless people, some of them in your district. I have proposed before that we do a homeless campus to put and build a campus for homeless people. This is a speculative, exploratory item, and I can't see your reservations that we explore options to expand properties. We're coming up on the bicentennial, And the reason I believe in this because Antonio Proctor negotiated this property, and I believe that Bill Proctor has the same traits. I think we can get this, and I'm asking you to help me explore this.
Commissioner Proctor, I think, and I mean, I'll walk down this road with you, but I think
Thank you.
it would be a lot more successful if we had more information. So I guess
This is to kick it off.
Give me a second. I think what Commissioner Minor is asking for, and I think what will help everybody else to spare the moment, is that at least if we could get some information back from staff, and then you'd be able to bring it up at the county meeting. So then, by at least we're not, just sitting on an emotion that we're just now contemplating in the moment. But I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I do think it's a good idea. But I also know there's a lot of forest and a lot of other things out there. There's a lot of things in the way that could get in the way of us being able to do it. I just want to know all the information too. So it'd be, in my opinion, it would be nice for us to have the information from staff, some kind of report from staff, so we at least can read up on it before we go supporting something like this, and then not be able to make any movement on it. So I'm not saying that. The motion's in order; it can be ratified, and staff can start working on it. But it's your call.
I hear you.
I have any other commissioners in queue to speak? Commissioner Command.
Commissioner Proctor, my first question is: Are you going to go out? Are you going to go out to Fort Brady and you're going to tell those people yourself that this is what we're doing? That's my first question.
If you tell people, if you tell the people who are living out there now in the woods, they don't vote. If you tell the people who do vote in Fort Brady that opportunities and land opens for you, which may be cheaper than what you're able to access, I think that they will understand. Look forward to it.
So here's obviously this is in my district. Here's where I'm at. Out of the utmost respect and your vision, I would support it for discussion purposes, but I don't think without having more information for staff, and I just do not believe that this is a national forest, and I just don't believe it will be well received by our people out in the community. That land to them is some of the utmost treasury that they have out there, and if this comes back as an agenda item, we will be here for 3 days listening to constituent feedback, opposing it.
Love to hear it. I've just been looking at this forever. I'm just one person who's been looking forever, but don't allow my forever to be imposed upon how you see it.
I share your vision on what you're trying to achieve. I think that we could tackle that vision by increasing density and looking at other parts of our districts where we share on the south side, in other parts of our community. I just don't believe that portion of our community is the best place to tackle that.
Commissioner Welch, then Commissioner Cummings. Are you on point?
Yeah, on point.
Okay, on point.
I'm on point. Yeah, just very briefly, Mr. Chair, I second the motion because it was my understanding that it was exploratory. And generally, when we make motions, we can ask the staff do analysis, bring it back to us. So in this particular body, and I can ask, if you don't mind, our attorney, in this particular body, that wouldn't occur. Is that what we're saying? If we made the motion at our county commission meeting and asked for staff to bring an agenda item back, then we would have the background information that we would need to make an informed decision.
I'm sorry. So where we are, if this would happen at the end of a meeting. At the end of a meeting, if somebody brought this up, it would be a 4-3 vote and it had to come
at
back.
Our county meeting.
At a county meeting. It would have to come back as an agenda item.
Okay, absolutely.
It would have to be a 7-0 in order for it to pass outright.
Okay.
So where we are right now is because we're in this setting, it could pass as a 4-3, be ratified, and then be an agenda item, correct? So it will still be an agenda item if it passed today, pending the ratification that will come up at the county meeting. What I'm asking is that, and what I think would be probably the best way to go about it, is since we would have to then have a ratification at the county meeting, and it could work both ways either way, because we're still going to have to be one more vote, is that in the meantime, staff gathers some information so we know exactly what we get ourselves into. So either it could be, when I'm trying to avoid, I don't want the motion to fail now without us having the information.
Oh, I see.
And so either way it goes, it's going to come back at the next meeting for ratification, or it's going to come back at the next meeting at the end of the meeting for us to take a vote either way, and then it's going to be an agenda item at a following meeting. So it's still a 3-step process either way. It's going to be a 2-step or a 3-step process either way.
So with Commissioner Minor having said that he's opposed to it, we would need a 7-0 vote?
No, you need a 4-3 today for it to be ratified. And it comes back in the ratification of the item. If it passes in that ratification, then it becomes an agenda item. Commissioner Proctor, whether it passes or not today, what I suggest is that if it passes, you still ask for staff to gather some information prior to it coming back at that ratification, because otherwise, it's a lot to try to swallow without knowing exactly what we're getting ourselves into.
But you just articulated my hope that they would bring something back to say this is what
they
we
won't
would
bring it
explore.
back. So what would happen was, what they're going to bring back is, correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Attorney, what they're going to bring back is they're going to bring back the information that we asked for in this meeting. And we're going to ratify that, okay? So in between this meeting and that, there is no information about that item. It's just going to come back and say, during the workshop, you guys did this, this, and this, and this. We're going to ratify it, okay? Then, after you ratify it, if it passes, then they'll start to work on an agenda item for what you have asked for. What I'm saying is that information that you're asking for won't happen between this meeting and the ratification. So what I'm saying is, go ahead and ask for the information that you're asking for now. Get to the meeting, and then at the end of that meeting, if you still want to ask for this, then you ask for it at the end of the meeting, knowing that we have the information and we can make an educated vote on it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman, I withdraw that motion based on all of those words that you said. I'm so lost. I feel like Georgia porgy pudding pie.
So what Commissioner Proctor would like is information about how we will move forward in being able to purchase some of the land in the Southwest that the federal government owns. That information come back to the county for us to consider, for him to consider whether or not he wants to make the motion at the end of that meeting. Madam Attorney, would he need a motion for that information to come back to us?
I believe that staff could be requested to bring back factual information to Commissioner Proctor so he can make a determination about whether he wants to make a motion at the next meeting.
Okay, do you need a motion for that?
No.
Okay, so Commissioner Proctor, that information will be sent to you, and I'm asking that information also be sent to the rest of the commission as well. Is that fair?
Now, I want you to know how crazy this is. Donald Trump had the Department of Interior to plan a list of federal properties to sell to private investors and buyers, purchasers. He was going to sell off the parkland. We don't want them to sell it. We want them to give it. And the federal government belongs to us. It's the people of Florida. We pay for it. All of it is ours. We're putting a new name on the same piece of property. It changes ownership. All of us is government. So those are the concerns of which I believe our future can evolve. It's just one way forward, but there are multiple ways forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you understand the direction? Ken? Thank you. Commissioner Welch, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Proctor, I cannot, in a workshop on infill, contemplate talking about taking land from the federal government and national
We didn't
forest.
say taken, sir. We don't have eminent
Give, ask,
domain.
request, purchase. I cannot get on board with that. I'm willing to, as the chairman said, walk with you in terms of if you have specific ideas. You want so many acres for a campground, or you want so many acres for a commercial development. But even just that is existing in the ether. Like in principle, I cannot get on board. In an infill, we're talking about infill, and now we're going out into the national forest. I understand your point, and I understand you've been looking at that map a long time, but that's a pretty big leap there for me, sir. I'm sorry. So even if we have an item come back, I don't envision a way that I could support it unless it's a very specific proposal for a very specific type of development or construction. And even then, I'm probably not going to be able to support that. I think that Artie and our staff have articulated for us pretty well today that we have capacity, we have urban services area, we have construction going on the south side, we have an action plan, we got all these things that we're working on that are geared towards intelligent growth within a defined scope that is managed and properly planned. I can totally understand Commissioner Caban's hesitancy in his district with this idea. I think we have to be real careful with ideas because ideas, can become realities pretty quick. And I'm just sort of laying that down right now. I don't envision a way that I can get with you on developing our national forest when we have problems. We have huge debates about developing areas, adding areas in my district to the urban services area, which are, in the heart of really the center of the county on privately owned land. And now we're talking about developing on the southwest portion of our county in a national forest. I just can't get there. It's like if the people of Arizona said, hey, we'd like to build some housing in the Grand Canyon. I don't think they would get there either. So I appreciate your sentiment, but in reality, I don't think there's anywhere. Number one, I don't think Congressman Dunn, who I met with this week, I don't think there's any way they would ever support something like that. And I don't know if it's even capable, if it's even realistic within the scope of the county. I welcome reading any items or analysis that the county brings back, but just wanted to say that up front. I apologize.
I know. The Louisiana territory purchase was a hell of an idea. It was quantum. It was big, but it happened.
So I got Commissioner Minor, I have Commissioner Cummings, and then we're done with this. Commissioner Minor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Walsh just spoke, and he made a lot of the same points I was going to make. I'm not trying to be argumentative, sir. I mean,
I'm not arguing. Just an idea.
We want to be a cohesive body and everything, but I do have the same sentiments that Commissioner Welch has. And if material comes to us, I will read it with an open mind. I won't prejudge, but it would be right at this point, it would be a hard decision to make in pursuing in that direction. But I respect your desire to look at this and get more information, and so I'll be happy to read that information when it comes. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Overall, I want to thank Artie and staff, Mr. Morris, for all the material they've assembled here for us today. I know we're specifically looking at infill, and it was very interesting to me that in their analysis, they indicated that all of the commercial development that has occurred here the last couple of years has been within the urban services area. And of course, we know infrastructure is there, water, sewer, what have you. And I know that's what we want to do. That's what we want to promote. Not quite 100% of the residential development has been in the urban services area, but it's interesting that we know where those particular acreages are within the USA, and we want to promote, infill as opposed to urban sprawl. But my question is, I know we've got all of this information and we know where we want to support and promote and incentivize within the urban services area. But does our advocacy start with an application from the developer or with a site plan from the developer? Where does county government's advocacy start as far as promoting infill? Yes, sir.
Absolutely, Commissioner. It's kind of a combination of multiple things. A lot of times this is applicant-driven. As you saw for the first part of this workshop, most of the comp plan amendments and rezonings were privately initiated. So someone came in and said, I have this property, and then what we do is look at it for consistency with the goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan, and then make a recommendation based on that. But then there are other times where we have explicitly stated in the comprehensive plan, like, this is our intent to do this. So a good example of that is the policies adopted into the comprehensive plan for the multimodal transportation district. And those policies say, we want to have this district. It defines the boundaries of it. It says, we'll promote growth and development here. We have higher densities reflected in the land use categories in this area. We have density bonuses that are allowed in this area. So a lot of it is applicant driven, but there are also specific targeted things in the comp plan. So it could be both.
Can I just follow up? So does that policy consideration specifically go to the property owners, or is that just an overall policy that we adopt?
For something like the multimodal transportation district, it's kind of an umbrella policy that we adopt.
But it doesn't go to the owners of the property as part of the infill, does it?
They could come in and their property would be eligible for those density bonuses. So it's kind of it drives both the public investment. So we're looking at where we invest in transit, where we do things like build some of the roads, but as like multimodal corridors, looking at the design of Gain Street, looking at the design of FAMU Way, but it also influences the private sector. So this is really a time where the public investment and the private investment complement each other.
Okay, thank you. Just one last thing, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the collegiality of the county, the city, and all of us working together. I recognize that great strides has been made on the South Side Action Plan. Thank you, Commissioner Cox, the mayor, and all of the commissioners. And I appreciate the input from the citizens in that particular area. And they gave input that the city listened. We want better sidewalks. We want a vibrant community. We want development. We want housing, affordable housing. But having said that, our city, our county, we have a myriad of issues. And somebody mentioned homeless. We know affordable housing is an issue. We know that there are food deserts in various sections of our county and of our city, and primarily on the South Side. So we've got many issues that we need to address. And in doing that, I think we have to be innovative. We have to think outside of the box. And I second Commissioner Proctor's recommendation from an exploratory standpoint, the way he expressed it, because I believe we have to explore. We have to, I think, be concerned that perhaps maybe moving out of the box and thinking out of the box might become positive. It might be beneficial to our citizenry. So I believe that we have to be open-minded. Once we have all the facts, as certainly Commissioner Minor pointed to, on any issue that comes before our collegial bodies, on any issues, we're going to demand that we have all the facts. We weigh the facts, we evaluate the facts, and then we determine whether or not to move forward. And I think that's the proper thing to do. But I don't think we throw the baby out with the bathwater before we have all of the facts. And so given the issues that we as commissioners, city and county have to address, and given the fact that our citizens depend on us in many instances, all instances, to provide policy and look out for their health, safety, and welfare, I just believe that we need to consider factual information first. Then based on that, then we vote or we draw a conclusion. And it might be the same conclusion that we had from the beginning, or it might support my opinion, negative or positive from the beginning, but I just think we should be open-minded and a little more collegial when we've got members that are very concerned and are thinking out of the box and trying to bring some innovative ideas to address all of the problems that we have.
Very well stated, Commissioner Cummings. I couldn't agree more. Is that a motion for option number one?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Proctor, seconded by Vice Chair Cummings. This is just to accept the report, and then also hand it over to you. Any objection? Seeing none, show it as approved. I just figured you wanted to get us out of the way after that long, extensive conversation, Mr. Mayor. Floor is yours. Watch out there now, Commissioner Richardson. Floor is yours, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a question for Artie. The slide that said that all development since 2002 or 2007 has been within the USA, does that include development when we expanded the USA? Or is that the original or the most kind of the USA from, what was it, the 90s?
That would be the current, well, it would be development that happened when it happened, what the urban service area was at the time the development came in. And so we look at it every year. So kind of when we look at the average now, it would be what the current urban service area is. But I will say that the most recent expansions of the urban service area haven't been developed yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really looking at kind of the previous boundary.
Okay, thank you. I echo some of the sentiments from the county. I think this is a really big deal. I think there are a few things that have a greater impact on affordable housing, on environmental preservation, on transportation, on saving the city and county money when it comes to urban services. So I'm really excited to see what the consultant comes up with, what comes before us. As has been stated, we know there's going to be a lot of pushback, and so I think that I look forward to seeing the community engagement plan, and I think it's going to take all of us to engage and explain the implications of moving forward with encouraging infill in a different way and not. You know, we hear conflicting messages from the public that we don't want to cut down our trees, we don't want to see sprawl, but then no one wants their neighborhood to have, you know, an ADU or multifamily housing or whatever. So I'm mentally preparing myself for what that's going to look like. And my only comment really is if you know at all, I mean, I guess really what I'm getting at is sometimes I feel like we do a lot more community engagement than we do commissioner engagement. And what I don't want is to see this rushed or come back to us before we all have an opportunity to really add something to it and give our ideas, because this is something I'm really excited about. And so I just wanted to make that request that whether it's, you know, a workshop, whether I know that's part of the plan and it's not just going to come back to us in a rushed way. That's just something that, because this is so important to me personally, I mean, it's important to all of us. I just wanted to make sure that I made that comment. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, will you make a motion to accept? Second motion. Second by Commissioner Richardson.
Anything from staff? Anything from commissioners? Yes, sir. Use that mic for me there. And press the button for me, make sure it's on.
And I will be brief, and this is one of the things that I've talked about. You know, we talk about the infill development. I think certainly we need to go in that direction, but there are issues that we need to keep in mind as we go in that direction. One is gentrification and how that will impact current neighborhoods as we talk about infill. So just to keep that in mind. But then secondly, I think we need to redouble our efforts at home ownership in some of these neighborhoods as well. We've got neighborhoods where upwards of 90% of the housing in those neighborhoods is rental. Bond, for instance, Providence. So we need to redouble our efforts, I think, to encourage home ownership in those areas, because if we start pushing infill development into those areas, the people who own the property, they're going to try to get as much out of it as they can. And that means the people who are there now renting aren't going to be able to afford the property, or I would imagine the astronomical rents that are going to start to be charged. So those are just issues that we need to keep in mind as we move forward with this. I know that, we talk about infill development all the time, but those are just I've seen it happen in other cities. If you look at downtown Jacksonville, when I was growing up in that area, downtown Jacksonville was predominantly African American. You go to downtown Jacksonville now, and I hope that the people from Duval are listening, because you go to downtown Jacksonville now, and the African Americans that you find living in downtown Jacksonville are part of the homeless population. That's what has happened that I know of, and maybe that's been the experience in other cities, but I use Jacksonville as an example, and I certainly don't want us to go in that direction here in Tallahassee. So just something for us to keep in mind as we move forward with this infill development.
Great comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Richard, Alan Williams used to serve with you? State Representative Alan Williams?
He came after me.
Okay, but was he ever your aide?
No.
Okay. Our former State Representative Alan Williams, I believe, is Assistant Secretary of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Yeah. And Secretary Marcia Fudge, I understand, is a great friend of Congressman Al Lawson. I'm pondering Alan's capacity to reach the Secretary of HUD and to look at some of this federal property becoming affordable housing, and possibly what you're talking about, the Secretary of Housing seeing this great inventory of land, posturing the federal government and Biden administration to do something and to make housing with a special program for home ownership. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anything else? We're adjourned. Thank you.